All right. Hey guys, how's it going? It's Joy. I'm back again with another live. I hope that you guys are doing well, and I hope that you guys are staying safe. So, you guys, um yes, I hope all is well. And welcome to another video here at Live Narc Free, where it is all about getting free and staying free after dealing with narcissistic abuse. So, you guys, my neighbors aren't playing their music, so that's good. I'm not for sure how long that's going to be because I know sometimes when I get on the live, I just randomly hear the music. So, yeah. But, anyways, you guys, I am here. I did just want to see here real quick. Sorry about that, you guys. I washed my hair earlier, so I was trying to get it together for y'all. So, anyways, you guys, I wanted to talk about a very interesting topic, but very kind of sensitive as well. Because everybody deals with this, right? A lot of people deal with heartbreak, right? People deal with rejection. People deal with feeling bitter, and stuff like that. And, I was, just thinking to myself, like, what causes people to be, bitter, or what causes people to deal with heartbreak? And, it could also be sadness and anger and stuff like that. So maybe that could be for another video. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about this because I feel like, just going out there in the world and being around different people, I realized, and you guys can tell me what you think, but I realized that there are a lot of people out there that are bitter. There are a lot of people that are bitter, you guys. And you all can tell me what you think. Sorry about that, y'all. I'm trying to get my hair right. Trying to get it good for the camera. Y'all know how that's be. But yeah, there's a lot of folks dealing with bitterness, right? People could be bitter, people could be angry. Hold on, y'all. Give me a moment. I gotta get myself together. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I just want to see how this is looking. Trying to get it on one side. Sometimes my hair, it'll do its thing and then I have to get it situated, all that stuff. Y'all see how it's looking like. See, I think it wants to go this way. Okay, I'll let it go this way. Because I'm like, does it want to go right or does it want to go left? Trying to get it together, y'all. Okay. All right, we good. But yeah, so as far as talking about overcoming bitterness, overcoming heartbreak and stuff like that, that is something to really acknowledge. And hopefully, if you are on this journey or along your spiritual path, hopefully you are working past those, whether it's an insecurity for you, or maybe it's been a trigger for you for some, or maybe it's a sort of demon that could be coming up for you, when it comes to overcoming bitterness and also overcoming heartbreak, right? Now, give me one moment here, you guys. I just want to see here. Let me take a look. I had a wash day for my hair, so I was like, ooh, I had to do that earlier. But let me see here. Okay, yeah, there we go. So, and then also just keep in mind that healing is important. And this will be like another topic. Healing is very important when it comes to overcoming narcissistic abuse, is because once you have done your inner healing, you've done your inner work, then it's to the point where the narcissist is not going to be able to use you anymore, because The narcissist will really, they thrive on hurt, right? They thrive on pain. They want to, that's why they really love the negative attention the most. They want the negative attention over any positive attention. I mean, they'll take the attention regardless, but they really like it when they can make you upset, they can make you feel frustrated, or they can get some sort of negative attention from you, right? That's what the narcissist thrives off of. When they basically they want to make you feel how they feel, right? So they're already miserable, they already hate themselves and stuff like that. So they want you to hate yourself, they want you to dislike yourself, they want you to feel insecure, they want you to feel ugly, they want you to feel how they feel. They want you to feel bad, they want you to feel sad, they want you to feel miserable. What did they say? Misery likes company, right? You guys heard that? It's true, especially when it comes to the narcissist. John, you said she breaks my heart like once a week, but I still stay. Oh boy. Yeah, I mean, I don't really recommend that. You don't want to be with anybody that breaks your heart. I mean, you got to think about it. Is that love, or is that just addictions, right? Is that love, or is that about codependency? You know what I'm saying? So it just depends, because let's be honest, not everybody wants love. Like some people don't want love. Some people just want just to say, hey, I have a situation or whatever, or I have an arrangement, or I have something going on, and we have an agreement here, and stuff like that. Some people are going into these connections and these situations for different reasoning. So, and it's not about judging anybody for it, but it's just about being clear on what you are wanting from this situation, or what you are wanting from this dynamic, and just be upfront. Now when it comes to the narcissist, they're not going to tell you like, hey, I can't love you, hey, I don't have any empathy, hey, I hate myself, I hate you, I hate others, you're eventually going to discard me, or I'm eventually going to discard you. And they're not going to tell you like, hey, I'm never going to let you go, I'm always going to stalk you and harass you all the time and blackmail you, and start a smear campaign, and I'm gonna try to ruin your life, or I'm gonna try to break you. Like, the narcissist is not going to tell you that, because you wouldn't be interested in them, and they know that. You know what I'm saying? And so but it is what it is. But as far as just everyday dealings with individuals, and whether it's connections, friendships, relationships, you just want to make sure that you're clear on what it is that you're looking for when it comes to relationships. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might have to get honest with yourself. Are you really looking for love? Or are you looking for sex? And it's okay to acknowledge that. If you're like, hey, I just want sex, that's okay. Go, it's good. There's people out there that just want sex. That's fine. Like, some people don't want a relationship. Some people are like, hey, I don't want any strings attached. Hey, I want to be free. Or some people may be like, hey, I want to be a player. Or for the females, they might be like, oh, I just want to be promiscuous, and and be out there, and stuff like that. Hey, do you? You get what I'm saying? Do you? But the point to where you begin to hurt and harm others, for your own personal gain, and at the other person's expense, then that's when it becomes narcissistic, and that's when it becomes dangerous and destructive, and it's not right, and so yeah, you have to be considerate of other people's feelings. And when it comes to the narcissist, they are not considerate, right? They will do anything at all costs to get whether it's a relationship, or whether it's to get money, or some sort of status, or some sort of power position, or whatever. They'll do anything. They'll sell themselves. They will sell their soul, to get certain stuff. So you just want to make sure that that's not you. You get what I'm saying? You want to make sure that you are not behaving that way, and you're doing things in an honest, genuine way. Be upfront with people. That's really how you can avoid hurt. That's how you can avoid pain, heartbreak, and the things that folks deal with. Sorry about that, you guys. I know I'm playing in my hair. Hold on, y'all. I'll be right back. I gotta hold on. Give me a second, y'all. Give me a moment, you guys. I'll be right back. Hold on. Bear with me a second, y'all. Hold on. Okay, you guys, I'm back. Hold on, wait. Uh, I felt like I was playing in my hair too much, and I'm like, yeah, there we go. I'm back, y'all, so I'm good. So, but yeah, you guys. So, when it comes to, certain stuff, you just want to be mindful of what your intentions are. Now everybody is not going to give you what they're looking for up front, or it's not really recommended to be like, hey, this is what I want, da 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 da. I mean, I always say, just allow people to be themselves. They will reveal their intentions. They will reveal who they are at the end of the day. You get me? But yeah, it's just good to be honest though. Like, you know, but like I said, not everybody will be honest. So it is what it is. But let's talk about overcoming bitterness and heartbreak. Because like I said, we all, whether we go through it or if we know somebody else that's gone through it, or, maybe you have experienced feeling bitter in some way. So let's kind of talk about that a little bit. So what's heartbreak, you guys? So if you're watching this, I'm pretty sure you have experienced heartbreak, right? You got your heart broken. Maybe you was in love with someone and you really cared about somebody, and maybe something happened. Somebody got upset, someone left, or someone was like, hey, let's call it quits. Let's not do this anymore. Hey, maybe we're not the one for each other. All right, cool, whatever. But not everybody can have that approach. Like some people are like, no, like you're going to stay here. It's me and me only. I don't want to see you with anybody else. Some people are possessive and obsessive like that, right? Some people will stalk you, right? Some people will harass you. Some people will, blackmail you, or they'll call you all the time, or they'll text you, or they'll harass your friends, or they'll harass, a person that they think you're talking to or whatever. They'll get very vindictive and very they'll try to retaliate and stuff like that. So those type of people have not been able to master certain life skills, right? Certain social skills, right? So they miss that, when they were growing up. I don't know if their parents didn't teach them, like, hey, people are going to say no, you're going to get rejected, you're not for everybody. Like, that's life. Things happen. So that's normal. So the fact that if someone is like not letting go, and they're being so persistent and saying like, no, 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 like I have to have you. If not, then everything is over. It's like, that's not normal. People should learn, hopefully, but if you don't have the right upbringing or the right people around you when you're growing up as a child, then that can really really damage a child at a very young age. It could really mess with their mind and really mess with their ability to grow up, to develop, and to really be able to mature into a full grown adult, because only children are the ones that cannot take rejection. Children are like, no, mommy, I still want it, or no, daddy, give it to me. Like, how kids are, right? So, but when you mature, you understand. You're like, oh, okay, like this is how it is. You get what I'm saying? And adults understand that. Adults. So that's just something to keep in mind here. All right, so let's talk about it. What is a heartbreak? So it's overwhelming distress. So if you have dealt with a narcissist, you have probably felt heartbreak, or you have felt overwhelming distress. So It says unforgettable tale of joy and heartbreak. So other words for this could be distress, grief, suffering, unhappiness, misery, sorrow, sadness, anguish, trauma, heartache, pain, hurt, agony, angst, bitterness, despair, woe, dejected, devastation, torment, torture. So all of these words can make up for a heartbreak. So let's talk about it here. So what is the true meaning of a heartbreak? What's the true meaning? So heartbreak is great sadness and emotional suffering, especially after an end of a love affair or a close relationship. Suffering and heartbreak for those close to the victims. Okay. So what does it mean to be heartbroken? Again, to be heartbroken is to be so sad that it feels like your heart has cracked inside your chest. You'd be heartbroken after a death, or you can also be heartbroken when you get dumped by your girlfriend or your boyfriend. And it says when someone is heartbroken, they are deeply sorrow or distressed. Okay. So, and again, also it just says, again, a metaphor for intense emotional stress or pain one feels at experiencing great loss or deep longing. The concept is cross-cultural, often cited with reference to unreciprocated or lost love. So, it could also mean like maybe you love someone that doesn't love you, or you like someone that doesn't like you, or it's not to say that the person doesn't like you, but it's just like, it's not like what that individual thinks, right? It could be maybe it was just passion, or maybe it was just sex or something like that, and maybe another person could have viewed it a different way. You get what I'm saying? So you just want to be careful about that. Let me see here. Okay, so it says how to tell if you're heartbroken. So a lot of times, when you're dealing with a narcissist, you may feel heartbroken, right? Or they could feel heartbroken by you. Maybe the narcissist feels heartbroken by you, or you feel heartbroken by the narcissist. It says when a cherished relationship ends, we often must heal from what's commonly referred to a broken heart. If your heart is broken, you might feel symptoms common to depression, fatigue, reduced or increased appetite, sleeping too little or too much. Now, this doesn't have to be just about the narcissist. Like, you could experience heartbreak and it may have not been a narcissistic relationship, but this is specifically speaking of narcissists, or like I said, normal people can experience heartbreak, or, somebody could feel heartbroken by them, or whatever the case is. So this is what it says, what happens during a heartbreak. It says when you fall out of love, levels of oxytocin and dopamine drop, while at the same time, there is an increase in levels of one of the hormones responsible for stress, cortisol. It says these raised cortisol levels can contribute to conditions such as high blood pressure, weight gain, acne, and increased anxiety. So that's what that says here. Okay, so it says, how does it feel? It says some people describe it as full ache, often piercing, while others experience it as crushing sensation. The pain can last for seconds, then subside, or it can be chronic, hanging over your days and depleting you, like the pain said of a back injury or migraine. Okay. So it says, does a broken heart ever heal? It says, mending a broken heart takes self-compassion. It can't be rushed. It can take some time, but healing is possible. Breakups aren't usually easy, whether your ex-partner ended the relationship or you did. Reminiscing about the happy moments during the time together can make the breakup hard to get past. Okay, and it's saying how long does it take for a heartbreak to last? It says when looking at the timeline of breakups, many sites refer to a study that actually Consumer Polls, a market research company, conducted on the behalf of Yelp. It says the poll results suggest that an average about 3.5 months to heal, while recovering after divorce might take 1.5 years, if not longer. So yeah, and then it talks about the 5 levels of heartbreak. It says you guys can go to you can go to csn.edu. It says even if you were the one who initiated the split, there are 5 stages of grief that you will go through. It says denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance, according to Mental Health Matters. So it says, why is heartbreak so painful? It says the brain creates these stress hormones that says so that when your partner leaves or sort of disappears, we get agitated, that we are motivated to go find them or feel grateful when they come back. In other words, we're biologically primed from the start to feel stressed when a relationship ends. Okay. So it says, how serious is a heartbreak? It says, when you think of a broken heart, you may picture a cartoon drawing with a drag line through it. But a real life broken heart can lead to cardiac issues. Depression, mental health, and heart disease are connected. So it says, read on more information about how an extremely stressful event can have an impact on your heart. Now it says, can you fall in love after a heartbreak? It says, in fact, that there are things that you can do to fall in love after a difficult breakup. The key is to be sure that you have healed from the breakup and giving yourself enough time to deal with unresolved feelings or thoughts you have about surrounding a breakup. So, yes, you guys, as you can see, that's just some information about, overcoming heartbreak and stuff like that. And, again, if you are here living on the planet, you will experience heartbreak. Now, how you go about that is going to be dependent on you. And like I said, not only is it you, but it's also, I would say, like your upbringing, the people that you were around growing up, and things like that. Like I said, parents, family, friends, your values, your morals, your belief systems, and things like that. So you just want to be careful how you handle heartbreak, how you handle rejection, and just try to make sure that, you're not taking it too personal, and, you're not beating yourself up, that, you try to show yourself some love, you try to show yourself some compassion, because, I mean, nobody likes to feel heartbreak, right? I mean, it hurts, right? It can be painful, it can be devastating, but the good thing is that you can heal from it, right? You can overcome it. And the thing with a narcissist, though, is you want to be careful with them, because, they really like to cause pain, right? They really like to cause pain, and they want you to feel hurt by them. They want you to relive moments, and they want you to think about the times where, they hurt you, or they broke you, or they caused you to feel stress, or, they left you out in the cold, or they discarded you, or they abandoned you and isolated you, right? So that's why I said it's very important that you guys really focus on healing, because when you heal, you can overcome any heartbreak that you have dealt with. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be easy now. I'm just saying it's not going to be easy, you guys, but it is possible. I mean, I've done it. I know other people that have done it. So it's definitely doable. It takes time. I will say that, for me, when I was dealing with the narcissist, it definitely took me about 2 years. I will be honest and say that it took me 2 years, because it wasn't just what I had went through with the narcissist, but it was also, I had to deal with my childhood traumas that I had experienced, growing up. And I also talk about that in my book. Make sure that you guys do get it. I Feel Misunderstood. And make sure that you get my other books, Your Pain Will Make You Successful, and also Reclaim Your Life Back. If you are looking for any self-study guides when it comes to, your recovery and your healing journey, especially when it comes to heartbreak, overcoming bitterness, and, just really continue in your healing journey and your path. And that could definitely be something that you can add. I'm starting to feel a little cold. Let me put on my jacket, y'all. But yeah, that's something that you can add it to your library, that's going to help you and give you some techniques and tips and some strategies on how you can really move beyond heartbreak. Because the thing is like I said, feeling heartbreak is normal. It's a normal thing to feel and experience. But the thing is, where, like I said, where it becomes destructive, and where it becomes very, it becomes really damaging to an individual when they stay in that pain, when they stay in that, in the hurt and the pain and the agony and the suffering, when they just won't let stuff go, and they just keep going over it over and over and over and over and over again, and doing stuff to try to get something that they think is going to make them happy, but it's really not. You get me? And that's usually the case of a narcissist, because what a narcissistic person is that whoever they deal with, they feel like that they own that person for life. Like they feel entitled to that person. They feel like, yeah, they're not gonna let that person go. They're gonna do whatever they can do to hold on to that person. But they're not holding on to that person out of love. They're holding on to that person out of selfish reasons. Like, you get what I'm saying? They're doing it because, like I said, for themselves. They're doing it because they can gain something. They're doing it because it's about control for them. They're doing it because they don't want that person to be happy. They don't want to see that person move on. They don't want that person to be at peace. They want to control the narrative, right? The narcissist, and a lot of times they do stuff like that because they're trying to retaliate. They're trying to get back at a person and stuff like that. And so, just keep that in mind. And so, but this should motivate you, though. This should really help you to really, like I said, to get on your healing journey. Because when you don't heal, when you stay stuck in the past, when you kind of, fall into the trap, because again, allow yourself to feel how you feel. Like if you've been hurt, you feel pain. If you are going through it, you feel stressed out or you feel depressed, whatever the case is, feel how you feel. I recommend it because you're gonna have to face yourself. You gotta face your fears, you gotta face your demons, you gotta face your insecurities. But you have to give yourself some time. Give yourself 6 months, give yourself a year. Me, it was 6 months to feel what I needed to feel, and then I was able to move past it. But if you don't allow yourself that time to feel it, then it's gonna be there. And you can't put that onto anybody else. You can't make somebody else responsible for your mistakes in life, or for your pain or your heartbreak, or, for how you were showing up, in relationships. You can't make anybody responsible. So like what a narcissist likes to do is they like to use people to take on their back karma, or they like to make people responsible for the harm that they have caused them. The narcissist wants, they're going to blame you for the pain that they've caused you, or they may blame you for the heartbreak that they have caused you. You get me? And they want you to take upon their back karma. And it's just, you have to reject that. You're like, no, like they have done what they've done. You got to let them deal with that karma. They have a debt that they have to pay, and you have to let them pay, but the narcissists, they will try their best. They will be very manipulative in how they are, trying to make you feel responsible for the things that they have done, whether they're using black magic, or they're doing spell work, or, if they're gossiping and they're starting a smear campaign, or they're making up lies, and whatever it is that they're doing, they're going to try to make you responsible for the things that they have done to you, but yeah, as far as the heartbreak though, yes, give yourself time. And then after you have felt what you needed to feel, now the process begins where you have to take back your power, and you have to focus on yourself now. You have to focus on the things that, like your everyday routine. You got to get back in the flow. You got to, get up, take a shower, make something to eat, take care, or take the kids to school, or whatever errands you got to do. You got to get back up in the groove, and then after that, whether it's going to work, or, whatever you do for a living, you have to continue on with that. But then also, you still have to, do your hobbies, do activities and stuff. You have to get back to yourself, because when you're with a narcissist, they make you lose yourself. You don't know who you are. You're like, you're kind of, it's almost like you've been in a trance almost, or you've been under a spell for a lot of times. Like for the spiritual narcissists, they do spells on their victims, or like I said, they'll hire somebody to do a ritual or to do a spell on you and stuff like that. Or like where you'll have dreams about them and stuff like that, or they'll be trying to battle you in your dreams, or they may try to astral travel and stuff like that, so, but yeah, you gotta You have to do that inner work. You cannot skip it. Because the thing is, I'll tell you, if you try to skip your inner work, your inner healing, then you will become bitter. You will become bitter. And you do not want to become bitter, you guys. I've been around people that are bitter. It's not pretty. Most narcissists are bitter. I'll be honest. Most narcissistic people are very bitter. They're very bitter. They're very hurt individuals, very negative Nancy, deadbeat downers, very jealous, very envious, very hateful, very grimy, very vengeful. And it's all because they have not done their inner healing. They have not. They haven't addressed their traumas. They have not addressed their demons, their insecurities, and in fact they're probably behaving like a demon, or they're probably already possessed. They probably already made that decision, like, hey, like, I'm not going to go to that dark place. They don't want to do it. They don't want to do the inner work, like they just want to keep doing what they're doing. They want to keep raising hell, or they want to keep starting drama. They want to keep causing chaos and mayhem. That's what they love to do, because they don't feel any joy. They're not happy. They're not happy. They're not at peace with themselves when they look themselves in the mirror. They're not. They're very miserable people. They're very unhappy, and they hate themselves, and they hate other people too. Why do you think they hate you so much? I mean, you can't hate nobody that much and not hate yourself. Let's be honest, right? They hate themselves. And so, they hate you too. But you have to not hate yourself, because whatever you experience or whatever heartbreak you went through, it wasn't your fault. Like, it wasn't you to blame. I mean, you may have had a part in it. I mean, obviously it takes two to tango, right? It takes two to, have, whether it's a friendship or it's a connection or relationship and stuff like that, you had a part to play. But it's like, don't beat yourself up, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to have compassion for yourself. You have to, you have to forgive yourself. Really, you have to forgive yourself. You have to show yourself some love, and you have to really be kind to yourself. I know it sounds so cliche, like, oh, but it's true. It's really true, you guys. And you have to really begin to nurture yourself at this point. Like, I think I was watching a video earlier, and the gentleman was saying, like, you have to reparent yourself. You really do. Because a lot of times when you're dealing with a narcissist, so yeah, they probably hurt you, or they probably upset you and stuff like that. But a lot of times the narcissist will bring up inner child wounds or inner child attachments that you may have not healed or worked through yet. And that could be coming up to the surface for you to be able to heal. You get me? And so you just want to make sure that, you're working through that. I know that there was a book that I read that really helped me, was called Healing Your Inner Child. I love that book so much, and it did help me a lot. And I also do talk about this in my book as well, Reclaim Your Life Back. I talk about some things that you can do to help your inner child, because really you have to learn how to reparent yourself. Like, if you had a childhood where you didn't get what you needed, maybe you felt unloved, you felt unseen, you felt unheard, you felt invisible, you felt unimportant, that's going to come up again. The narcissist is going to try to trigger you. They're going to try to find your weak spots, right? They're going to try to find, like, what gets to you, right? Or they may watch you and try to see, like, oh, well, what can I do to hurt them? What can I do? Like, like, the narcissist is that evil. They're looking for stuff to do so that way they can hurt you, because they're so hurt, they're so bitter, that they're looking for stuff to trigger you. So that's why it's important that you have to do your inner healing, so you can counteract that. So whenever they try to do stuff to you, you already are healing. So whatever they do, it doesn't have any effect on you. You get me? So you just want to be careful with that. But I hope that that's helpful, though. Like I said, I know, we may have to talk about this again, because this is not an easy topic. Like, when people deal with heartbreak, some people actually die from heartbreak. Like, I've seen cases of that, and it's really sad, to be honest. It's really sad. And I think, a lot of it has to do with society as well. I think we live in a society where people feel like if you don't have anybody, then you are unloved, you are undesirable, you're not attractive. Like, I think a lot of people believe, or they feel like, I don't know if it's like ugly, or they feel unattractive if they don't have, if they're not in a relationship. Like, people, a lot of people that I have met and gotten to know, not everybody, but some people, they told me, they were like, hey, if I'm not in a relationship, then they feel worthless, or they feel like ugly, or they feel like not good enough, and they need to have someone there, like, whether, if they need attention, or they just need validation, or they need to feel like, admired by somebody, and the thing is that you have to learn how to give that to yourself. Like, that was what I had to learn, like, especially like the time that I spent alone, like, especially on my journey, like through the years, like, I've learned that nobody can complete you but you. It's not going to come from anybody on the outside. I'm telling you guys, I've been there, I've done that. And, I've had, different situations and things like that have happened. And I realize, if you don't love yourself, then nobody else is going to love you. If you don't respect yourself, nobody else is going to respect you, and it's not about, like competing and stuff like that for other people, and doing and behaving a certain way, or being nasty to people in order to get someone, or to get money. It's not about that. You don't have to hurt people in order for you to feel good about yourself, or you don't have to be competitive and be nasty, and to be vengeful and to be spiteful and try to retaliate against people in order to feel good about yourself. You actually end up making yourself feel worse. So when you see people doing that, just understand that they're lost and they're hurt. So, that's something that they have to work through. You have nothing to do with that. But if that does happen to you, you have to understand that that's where it's coming from. It has nothing to do with you. So I just wanted to, reassure you guys, like, don't take that stuff personal. If somebody's coming at you crazy, they're being negative, they're being hateful, they're being jealous of you, or being envious. If they're being like a narcissist, whether they're doing smear campaigns, they're lying on you, they're spreading gossip and false rumors, there's nothing, you didn't do anything. You didn't do anything. And, just don't take that type of stuff personal. It's not about you. It's more so about the narcissist. And when narcissists do stuff like that, they're hurt, right? A lot of times they're hurt, right? Or they felt like they was done wrong. So they, in their mind, in their delusional mind, they feel justified, but it's not justified, because God does not justify that at all, right? So, but to each his own. We all have our own journeys, and it is what it is. But you just want to be careful about that. But so let's move on to the bitter part. So I guess this all kind of ties into the same thing. But people are bitter, and again, the narcissist is very bitter. And again, it's because they're not doing the inner work, and like I said, they're not going to do it. So it's just like that's what they chose. And that's why I said, that's what I love about God, is like, because God gives every human being free will. He really does. He gives everybody free will. God is like, okay, I've given you this gift of life. You, what you do with it is up to you, right? So, and what I've learned is like, okay, God said, well, I give you a gift. My gift to you is your life. And then God, I always was taught God is going to be like, okay, well, what you do with your life is going to be our gift back to God. You know what I'm saying? So how we live it, how we treat people, how we show up in the world, the things that we do, for work, or, different acts of services, and, the different deeds, and the seeds that we sow, and and stuff like that. Just everyday living, what we do with our lives, what we become with our lives, is how we can give things back to God. And he loves it. God loves it, like, when you do right. God loves it when you treat people good. He loves it when you worship him, and you put him first, and you love yourself, because when you love yourself, you love God, because we are God. Like God is all, we're all made in the image of God, right? So, but when God sees you mistreating people, when God sees that you're bitter, you're vengeful, you're hateful, you're jealous, and you're wicked, and you're nasty, and you do black magic and spell work, God is like, what are you doing? God is like, what's up? Because you pretty much doing that to God. Like, and do you think God is happy about that? God is like, like you better be careful with stuff like that, because I already know, like God has shown me himself a lot of times. So when it comes to people and God, I don't play about stuff like that. I'm like, I already know God's watching, and God is very powerful. He can give life and he can also take life. So I don't play about God. I don't. But yeah. So but I know everybody has their own beliefs. Some people don't believe in God, right? Some people believe in devil stuff. Some people believe in black magic, spell work. Some people are, atheists, and they have their own beliefs. It's like to each his own. But I have seen God in my life. So, I mean, that's why I'm a very firm believer, because when there were situations in my life when there was nobody around, things happened miraculously, and I was just like, that was nobody but God. You know what I'm saying? So that's why, I'm a very firm believer. So, but let's talk about bitterness. So, anybody watching, are you bitter right now? We know the narcissist is bitter. We know the narcissist is probably watching too, but yeah. So yeah, bitterness. So it says sharpness, or they may have their friends watching or whatever. But it says sharpness of taste, lack of sweetness. It says anger or disappointment at being treated unfairly, or resentment. That's bitter. Okay. So what does bitter mean for a person? It says someone who is bitter is angry and unhappy because they cannot forget bad things that happened in the past. So this comes from Cambridge Dictionary. It says, I feel bitter about my childhood and that all that I went through. It says she suffered terribly over the years, but it hadn't made her bitter. What is it? Oh, this is interesting. It says, what does bitterness mean in the Bible? It says, bitterness is defined as anger and disappointment at being treated unfairly. It is a synonym with resentment and envy. So yeah, if you're bitter, you have resentment, and you envy people, or you're an envious person, or you probably envy people. Let's say you had a bad childhood, you probably envy people that didn't have a bad childhood or stuff like that. Or if it's a relationship and maybe something didn't work out with you, and then you may see that somebody is talking to someone else, then you envy that other person because you probably feel like you want that to be you or something like that. You're envious, or maybe you're envious of happiness because you can't feel happy. Like that's how a narcissist will be, because they can't feel happiness emotion. They have to fake it. Like they really are very envious, bitter people all the time. That's how they live. That's their every 24/7. That's how they are, like every day, you know? And it says, oh, this is interesting. It says one of the most well-known stories of bitterness in the Bible is the archetypal tale of Cain and Abel. So, yeah, see, I just mentioned it. What is bitterness in love? It says in relationships, there are many times when we are treated unfairly, and it's good and okay to feel angry and disappointment when this happens. But what happens when we don't acknowledge our feelings and deal with them in a healthy ways, it tends to lead to resentment, and resentment leads to fester and to bitterness. Now, when you're bitter, you just have to be careful, because I mean, I don't know, like I have never really been bitter in my life, which is great because I've always healed. So, I mean, but the people that I have, you know, coached and people that I've supported, most of them haven't really been bitter, which is great too. So that's good. But I would say maybe a couple of them maybe had a little resentment towards a narcissist, you know. It's and it's understandable. Like you'll have different feelings, when it comes to dealing with the narcissist, because they're always projecting. Like I said, the narcissist is full of envy, they're full of bitterness, they're full of anger, they're full of sadness, they're full of disappointment. That's them all the time, and so they like to project that onto their victims, you know. So like I said, when you heal, though, when you heal, that can dissipate, because there's nothing left when you let stuff go. Because the thing with a narcissist, they like to hold on to it, they like to hold on to it. But when you heal, what do? You let it go. But with a narcissist, they don't want to let it go. But with a survivor of narcissistic abuse, they let it go. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, the narcissist can pretend that they let something go, but they really don't. They don't. And that's on them. That's their life. That has nothing to do with you. So let's see here. Yeah, it says, what is bitterness relationship? It says bitterness comes when you hold on to hurt and refuse to forgive the person who hurt you. Most of the time this comes as a result of ongoing actions of small nature, lack of understanding, misuse of finances, harsh comments that build up over time. Yeah, it says, if you dwell on hurtful events or situations, grudges filled with resentment and hostility can take root. If you allow negative feelings to crowd out positive feelings, you may find yourself swallowed up by bitterness or a sense of injustice. Yeah, it says how to tell if someone is bitter. It says when someone becomes bitter, the most obvious effect is their mood. Especially the bitter person's baseline mood is often angry, disappointed, or irritable. The feelings are difficult to let go and often don't seem to have a clear percipient. Yeah, it says the root cause of bitterness. It says, let's look at some possible roots of bitterness. It says bitterness can often be rooted in resentment that can come from disappointment, unmet expectations, or hurt feelings. Bitterness can also spring from wounds and unkind, hurtful words that are spoken from unjust treatment. Okay. It says, what does God say about bitter people? It says, Hebrews 12:15b says, watch out that no poison root of bitterness grows up to trouble you, corrupting many. Bitterness corrupts, divides, and devastates. It damages and destroys. Okay, it says how to get rid of bitterness of the heart. So if you are bitter, then this talks about how to overcome that. It says do a serious reevaluation. It says put your story on hold. Take what responsibility you can. It says stop spying. Face up to your hidden fears. Forgive when feeling bitter. And don't forget to forgive yourself to step into the now to end feeling bitter. Yeah, it says often bitterness takes root when we are hurt by others or we think a situation we are to put in is unjust or unfair. Bitterness starts when we cling to anger and resentment and start holding grudges. So, yeah. Yeah, it says a bitter person is generally someone who has been hurt, something has happened, life has not worked out to their satisfaction. Many perceive that God is to blame and that they are bitter at Almighty. Others are bitter at society, at specific individuals, or at a spouse. So, yeah. So, I hope that was helpful. Yeah, it says how to deal with a bitter partner. So you could have a narcissist around you. They might be bitter. So it just talks about how to deal with a bitter partner. Or it could just be a bitter person in general. Because, there are people, I don't know, like to me, I feel like there's a lot of people out there that are bitter. And to me, that just lets me know that people are not doing their inner work. People are not healing. And I can tell you guys that I had people that reached out to me. They're like, hey, Joy, like, I don't want to talk to you, but I'm reaching out because I need your help. And I get it because, I mean, like I said, I've had my journey and there has been a lot of things that have happened to me, you guys. I probably haven't even told you most of the stuff. Like there's still a lot, but if you were to hang out with me like for a long while, you would be like, wow, like I didn't know you went through that, and you would never know. And I'm just grateful that I have my relationship with God, because when you have a relationship with God, like any it's not to say that you're not going to feel like certain feelings, because you always know that the narcissist wants to cause you to feel a certain way, right? But when you are close to God, God's always going to give you peace. God is always going to give you love. God is going to give you compassion. God's going to have you forgive yourself. God's not going to allow you to be upset, angry, and disappointed. God doesn't want that for you. God wants you to feel joy, love, peace, happiness, right? Any other feelings is only going to be of the enemy, right? They're only going to be of the narcissist, or people that are just negative Nancy's, Debbie Downers, and stuff like that. So you just want to make sure that you don't become, like I said, like a narcissist, right? That's why, like I said, it's very important to keep your distance from these people, because they will project their poison onto you, right? They will project their toxicity onto you if you're not careful. Or anybody that's bitter. I mean, you do not want to be around a bitter person, because they will make you just like them. They will, I'm telling you. Like, it festers. The poison spreads. That's a poison, and it does spread. I'm being honest. It's true. It's very true. So you have to be careful of who you affiliate yourself with, because I mean, it's true. Whoever you hang out with, that's who you are. That's who you become like. So if you're affiliated with people that are evil and toxic and destructive, and, they just wicked, then that's who you are too. It rubs off. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you got to be careful. But yeah, it says some effective strategies for dealing with angry partners. It says de-escalate and neutralize emotionality, be assertive and respectful, communicate constructively, understand, validate, practice patience and compassion, pick your battles and think long term, reflect on your actions and understand triggers. Now, some people, you don't have to do all that, because I mean, you don't have to have people in your life if you don't want to. Like, no one's obligated to be in your life. No one's, and vice versa. You're not obligated to be in anybody's life either, So, you definitely just want to be careful about that. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me. Sorry about that, you guys. Throat chakra. Oh, Lord. I feel like I've been talking for a long time. Hold on, y'all. Ooh, that's bomb. Sorry about that, y'all. I had my little drink, but ooh, that's nice and good. But yeah, you guys, like, and for some people, like, I don't know, like, to me, I do have compassion for, people that have become bitter. Now, the narcissist, that's a different story, because they do what they do. I don't have any compassion for narcissists, because to me, they do things that are evil, and they do it with a smile. They do it while laughing and with a smirk on their face. It's like, no, whatever the narcissist gets, they deserve that, right? But I'm talking about just like normal people, maybe that have gone through certain situations in their life, and maybe they're not narcissistic or anything like that, but maybe they was in a relationship for a long time, maybe like years, maybe 10 plus years, 12 years or something like that, and they're no longer with that person, and they're upset, and it's changed them, you know what I'm saying, for the worse. They become bitter. So you have to really be careful about that you don't allow a relationship or a friendship or any situation to change you for the worse. You know what I'm saying? Because that you are essentially saying that situation has power over you, and you don't want to give anybody that type of power over yourself, over your life. You know what I'm saying? Like, only type of power you want to give to somebody is somebody like God. Like, other than any other human, you don't want to put anybody before God. You have to keep God first. Like, that's something that I learned in my life. Like, yeah, you can love your spouse, you can love your friends, you can love your children, but what I learned is that God has to be number one in your life. If you want to have a good life, and just have meaning in your life, and be fulfilled emotionally, and be at peace with yourself and others, because let's be honest, you guys, you're gonna go through stuff. People are gonna hurt you. People are gonna break your heart. People are going to treat you unjustly. People are going to take advantage of you. People are going to manipulate you. Your childhood probably wasn't the greatest. You probably got treated unfairly. People were probably mean to you. People probably bullied you. People probably stalked you and harassed you. They probably lied on your name and made up false accusations. People are going to do stuff like that to you. But none of that matters. None of that matters. As long as you have God on your side, what anybody says or does to you doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. And I know most people, they don't have that response, that they don't think like that. And I'm just grateful that I have given my life over to God, because I didn't used to always be like that. I wasn't always like this. I was different years ago. I was very different. But like I said, once I had my relationship with God, I knew that God was all I needed. At a certain point. Now, granted, things change, and like I said, you will ask God to say, hey, God, bring people into my life that can love me like you love me, or whatever the case is, but God watches who is talking to him, right? God knows your heart. Like I said, a lot of people are good, like how the narcissist is. They're very good at tricking people. They're good at fooling people. And, they got schemes and plans and all sorts of crazy stuff, magic. That doesn't matter. When you put God first and you keep God first, that subsides everything. Now, it's not to say that things are not going to come up against you, though. It's not to say that people are not going to plan, plot, and scheme. But God says that he's never going to leave you, and he's never going to forsake you. And you can put your trust in God. You get what I'm saying? And that does make things better. And sometimes, God's funny like that. I have conversations with God. I talk to God like every day, and I'll laugh and I'll be like, God, you funny. I'm always talking to God like, God, he's comical to me. I find God to be so funny. Like, he's really hilarious. But one thing I learned about God is he will use, when people will do stuff against you, they will use it to like make you upset, or they use it for evil. God will take it and he will use it for your good. Like, that's how funny God is. So it all ends up working out for your good, at the end of the day. Like, there's a song by Victor Thomas. It's called Dependable God. It's such a beautiful song. I want to play it, but the whole copyright thing with YouTube. But in the song, he's like, it doesn't matter what comes my way, you are still God. He's like, it doesn't matter what comes my way. He's like, dependable God. Like, I want to get the lyrics. He's like, everything is working out for my good. Yeah, I gotta look at the lyrics. Hold on, y'all, because this is a good song. And he has a lovely voice. I love his voice. But it's such a beautiful song, to be honest. I got to get the lyrics. I don't want to mess it up. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. He has a beautiful voice. Beautiful, beautiful. Hold on. This is just something you guys can take with you. So just remember this when it comes to God and when it comes to dealing with the narcissist, and why it's important to have a relationship with him. Oh, and he's actually Nigerian. I didn't realize that. He's Nigerian. Okay. Very cool. And I noticed, like, on a song, he's like speaking in a different language. And I'm like, oh, okay. Hey. Wait, hold on, y'all. Okay. He's like, doesn't matter what comes my way, you are still God. Okay. He's like, dependable God. It doesn't matter what comes my way, you are still God. And then he says, intentional God. Everything is working out for my good. Dependable, dependable God. It doesn't matter what comes my way, you are still God. So he pretty much just says that. He says, you love me too much, ooh, too much, oh, too much. And then he's like, excessive love. So yeah, he's saying like, you love me. And then he's like, thank you for loving me too much. Unconditionally love. Thank you for loving me too much. Oh, he said, unconditionally, Lord. That's what he says. And he says, what would I have been? What would I have been without you? And he's like, you love me too much. And then he's saying, that's my alarm. And he's like, you are A to Z and everything in between. Mama Mazi, Mazi. Oh, he's like speaking in his language. Oh my God. He said, you must be the most high king. Yeah, he's like, Eche to be Zeki Onaro Indiagi. Oh my God. He's like, Mazi. He's like, Mama Mazi Ona you be the most high king. Eche to be Zeke Oro Eyidekagi. Oh my goodness. He's like, now I'm standing here only because you made. Now I'm standing here only because you made. Now I'm standing here only because you made a way. So, oh my goodness, y'all. So like that song is so beautiful. I know you're gonna be like, what's she on here doing? But no, like that song is super bomb. I recommend listening to that. But yes, you guys. So just be mindful and understand that God is dependable. He's a dependable God in your life, and you can overcome anything. But you got to keep God first. You can't overcome this world by yourself. You got to have help. You got to have God. I think, what did they say about Jesus? They said that Jesus lived in this world, but he wasn't of it. Like, that's how I feel. Like, I feel like I live in the world, but I'm not of it. Like, and you probably feel the same way. And it's probably because, yeah, you're probably not of this world. Like, unfortunately, most of the stuff that's in this world is unfortunately evil. It's true. It's demonic. I'm just being honest. But you don't have to partake in that. You don't have to behave that way. You don't, just because, like I said, people do you wrong or do you dirty or mistreat you, you don't got to do that back. But you got to still be able to cope. You still got to be able to handle it, right? But like I said, when you have the right tools, you have the right resources, and you heal, right? And that's the other thing. Like, the narcissist can't use you if you heal. They can't use you, because that's how the narcissist can get you, because they want to find out what your wounds are. They want to know what your triggers are. They want to know what gets you upset. How can I make them upset? How can I make them mad today? Like, they're always looking to do that. They're always plotting and planning and scheming. But when it's you already did the work, it's just like, oh, it's cool. Like, go ahead. Like, so you just got to keep that in mind. That's why it's very important you do that inner work, because people will use it against you. It doesn't have to just be the narcissist. It could be anybody. But also, like I said, you can have, narcissistic parents do stuff like that. You can have in-laws, whether it's associates or other, folks around. Could be neighbors, anybody, to be honest. Everyday people you see out there, random people, so you got to make sure that you protect yourself and you arm yourself, and you have that knowledge and that wisdom, and you learn from your mistakes, because you can have experiences, right? You can have experiences, but are you learning from it, and you're getting the lesson and moving on from it? You get me? Because you can go through all this stuff, right? And you can have these experiences, but what are you taking from it? What are you getting out of it? You get what I'm saying? So that's really the key. So And then, like I said, don't allow the narcissist to use you, because they'll use you. Like I said, not only will they use your pain against you, or they'll use your past against you, but they can use you to hurt other people. They can use you to, take somebody out, or they could use you to get somebody else hurt and upset and sad. That they'll do stuff like that, right? They could get you to bully and stalk and harass somebody. They can get you to gossip and start drama, right? They could use you, like I said, as a flying monkey, as a minion, as somebody in their harem, or somebody that gang stalks, or somebody that blackmails and things like that. So, but you got to remember that you would be taking on that narcissist bad karma when you engage in stuff like that. So, you'll begin to see stuff that will happen, and it will be misfortunes. And, you just got to reassess who you was around. That's what I'm saying. You got to be really careful who you have around. How you can tell the difference of the people that are good for you versus the people that are bad for you, especially when it comes to friends. When you have good people around you, good friends, you'll start to see good things come into your life, versus when you have toxic, negative, narcissistic, karmic friends around, you'll start to have misfortunes. You'll start to lose stuff. You'll start to see devastating things happen. Now, granted, we're in life, things do happen, but specifically, you'll notice the difference between a good person versus a bad person. But like I said, with a narcissist, they can be very manipulative. You get what I'm saying? So you just got to be careful. And like I said, remember the bad stuff that they did to you. Remember the bad stuff. That's going to help you to move past their manipulation, to move past the black magic, to move past any gossip or false rumors or accusations or whatever it is that they're doing. That's going to help you to see right through their mask. You get what I'm saying? So anyway, I love you guys. I hope that this message was helpful and insightful. I would love to know what was you guys' biggest takeaway. Hopefully, I know the heartbreak and bitterness is not an easy topic. I know we may have to touch on that again, because it's an ongoing thing. It's an ongoing battle at times. Sometimes it takes some time to overcome that. Those are some demons that can be difficult to overcome. And you got to be patient. You got to be patient with yourself, and don't rush the healing. Don't rush the healing process. That's another thing. Be patient with your recovery. Be gentle with yourself. Be kind, and don't how the narcissist treats you. Don't treat yourself like that, because the narcissist will be mean. They will be evil. They will be vengeful and spiteful. But you don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to yourself, right? You got to learn how to love yourself. I know that's not easy, because I didn't years ago. I did not. And I will be the first to admit, but I learned how to, and it's the best feeling in the world. It's nothing like it. When you love yourself, you value yourself, you respect yourself, is no love like it in the world. And also the love from God. That's no love that you will ever experience, but the love that God has for you, that unconditional love, is no love like it. It's the best feeling in the world. So anyway, I love you guys always. Oh, love you always and forever. I'll see you guys in the next video. If you guys want to learn any other topics that you guys want me to do, please feel free to leave it in the comment box below, and I will make a video. But until the next time, I love you guys. Take care. See you next time.